Palestine hoping for profitable tourism reanimation through Expo 2020. With limited references to Israeli occupation, kiosk organizers hope callers see a positive image of Palestine while promoting profitable and tourism openings. Dubai, UAE. At the Expo 2020 Dubai, organizers of the Palestine kiosk term the state a deeply major land with ancient structures, adding that on with its burgeoning tourism, it has a busy manufacturing sector and there are numerous openings for investment. Given the ranges witnessed outside the kiosk, the organizers are hoping for that interest to be converted into tourism and profitable openings despite the rigors and restrictions facing Palestinians because of the Israeli occupation, which didn't get a lot of space or citation at the kiosk. The State of Israel came into being in 1948 in a violent process that included the ethnical sanctification of Palestine, where further than people were forcefully expelled. As the war ended, Israeli forces controlled about 78% of major Palestine, with the remaining land falling under Egypt's and Jordan's administration. In the 1967 war, known as the Nakba, Israel enthralled the remaining Palestinian homes of East Jerusalem, the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, and continues to enthrall them until moment. It also absorbed the fresh home from Egypt and Syria. By also, Israel had displaced and fresh Palestinians from their homes and took over home further than 3 times its size. Our watchword at this kiosk is once, present and unborn, Raziel Amr, the Palestine kiosk's media liaison officer, told Al Jazeera. The occupation doesn't stop us from being successful and achieving a lot. We've a lot of success stories, despite the occupation, and that shows it hasn't stopped us from exceeding and going further. Through this kiosk, we try and punctuate the civilization in Palestine. It's veritably important for us to promote the profitable side, see if we can get new openings through the exhibit, and highlight that Palestine is also a place for tourism because people don't know that. We want to show we've touristed places, archaeological spots, and it's a place where people come for religious tourism. We want to show the positive side of Palestine that numerous people may not be apprehensive of. In a report released in November, the United Nations advised that the dire profitable and financial situation in Palestine needed integrated response, and that times of profitable recession in the West Bank was followed by a sharp GDP per capita decline in 2020. The frugality continues its multi-decade decline in the Gaza Strip, with persistently high severance particularly among women, the report added. It's decreasingly delicate for the Palestinian Authority to cover its minimal expenditures, let alone make critical investments in the frugality and the Palestinian people, said Tor Wensland, the UN Special Fellow for the Middle East Peace Process. The report also cited long-standing dearths of public finances as a contributor to the extremity, and added that Israel continues to abate and hold a portion of so-called concurrence earnings, which the government unilaterally equates the quantum paid by the Palestinians to its captors, their families, or the families of those killed or injured during attacks. A Human Rights Watch report grouped at least 5 orders of major violations of transnational mortal rights law and philanthropic law that characterize Israel's occupation of Palestine: unlawful killings, vituperative detention, leaguer of the Gaza Strip, and restrictions on Palestinian movement, the development of agreements, and discriminative programs that disadvantage Palestinians. The kiosk itself portrays Palestine through the 5 senses, taking callers on a trip of the land via seeing, hearing, touching, smelling and tasting what the state has to offer. Vids of the major spots, a call to prayer from a synagogue, a church bell, a piece of gemstone from the Dome of the Rock, the aroma of olives, a virtual reality (VR) stint of religious spots, and a food table with virtual authentic cookeries and menus to browse. Callers then are surprised to see these corridor of Palestine live. We're trying to break the conception. We've a shop then that contains particulars that are all made in Palestine. The staff working there have a shop in Bethlehem and they came then to promote Palestinian products and goods. AMR added that while there are references to the occupation on point, the ideal was to promote the state's success and openings through a positive image, one that focuses on diurnal life and how people go about their lives. In Touch Palestine, there's the key of return, an original key from 1948 when a lot of Palestinian families were forced out of their houses by the occupation and they used these keys to lock their houses. We call it the key of return because we hope that one day we'll go back and use those keys. In the Smell Palestine area, we mention the killers. We do admit that Palestine is that, but it's also further than that, and that's what we trying to promote, added AMR.